In today's episode, once again, we speak to the amazing Sarah Hagstrom. Sarah is the founder and the coach of Grow & Co, where she empowers health and wellness coaches to connect with their inner confidence, align their offerings with their ideal clients. She helps them implement time-efficient strategies for marketing and to run their businesses with ease and for abundance. She's known for teaching her coaching clients how to create and launch their programs in 5 hours a week without scarcity, but instead love. And today we're speaking to Sarah to find out why you need to improve your health in order to improve your business. Let's find out. Welcome. This is Gull, your money mindset expert, and once again we have the charming Sarah Hagstrom. Hello, Sarah. Did I pronounce it correctly again? So
yes, you got it, girl. You got it.
Fabulous. Sarah, everyone's heard how fabulous you are, but please, in your own words, share with everybody what it is that you do.
Yeah, of course. So I am a business coach for health and wellness coaches, and I help them build their business in 5 hours a week, doing work that they love, leading from the heart, and sharing with the world how they can get healthier and happier.
Fabulous. And today we're talking about how to improve your health to grow your business. So, Sarah, why is working on your health so important, and how does it impact your business?
Yeah, I think that if you have dealt with a health challenge, you know how time consuming that can be and how that can really throw off your routine. I was telling you before we recorded, I got into health and wellness because I had my own health challenges over a decade ago. But then this summer, I had a new health challenge present itself, kind of like entrepreneurship, right? Life as a human, it is always throwing us curveballs. And I had a back injury and I couldn't walk. And a lot of the things that I would do in my business, I couldn't do. Like I couldn't, right now I couldn't stand here and do this interview with you. I would have small chunks of time. And that's really where I built this framework of building your business in 5 hours a week, because I literally had no more time to work on my business because of my energy. And it was just in that moment where I was like, okay, like entrepreneurs, like we really have to focus on our health, because as soon as we don't have our health, we realize how much we took that for granted. Even as a health coach, I took being able to walk and sit and stand and do all of these things for granted. And so when you feel great, it's really easy, not really easy, but it's a lot easier to show up for your business and show up for your clients and do all of these things. But when you don't feel good, like it is a lot harder to show up and serve.
I agree. I mean, I had a really severe health challenge this year. I had a severe accident where at one point I thought I've lost both my knees, but luckily I didn't, and I did come back and I recovered. But the time it took me to recover, it did take my mind off my business. Obviously, I wasn't able to focus as much. And I did continue going with it, but it wasn't to the level that I would have liked. And then the growth and the other impact. So, it kept going, but it wasn't improving. I wasn't able to work and grow it because of my health. So if you don't have your health, and then everything falls apart. So improving your health and working your health on a daily basis has to be everyone's utmost priority. And I'm talking especially to those parents. And I say parents because I think those ones who sacrifice their own well-being for the sake of business and children, myself included. You prioritize your children and your business, and you come last. Whereas anything, you need to come first, because if you don't have health, you will not be able to serve your children. You always look after them and give them the kind of upbringing that you want to. You will not be able to serve your clients. You will not be able to build a business. So if your health isn't at its optimal level, then everything else would disintegrate eventually. You may be able to carry on for a little while, but eventually it would disintegrate. So I know how important this is. So how can we improve our health? What should we be doing to improve our well-being?
Yeah. There's a lot of different health and wellness philosophies. So I want to keep it really simple, especially for parents, entrepreneurs, those with busy schedules, which I feel like is everyone today. It seems like time is just speeding up and going faster and faster and faster, right? Every day. And so I really want to encourage you to take care of yourself and trust that the process of you taking care of yourself, like that has such a big effect. And no matter what that is, That can be going to the gym. That can be cooking yourself a meal. That can be, you know, going to the park with your kids. Like simply the act of caring for yourself will improve your health. So I know we can get, I'll give you guys some specifics, but I know we can get so caught up in like, am I doing this right? Is this diet right for me? Is this exercise program right for me? But I want to encourage you that you simply taking care of yourself, doing something for your health is going to improve your health, no matter what it is, as long as you believe and trust, like, oh, this is a good thing I'm doing for my health. And you can give yourself some credit for it. I always say, get rid of the but. I went to the gym, but I ate this bag of chips and it wasn't enough. Or I went to the gym, but it was only for 15. No, you went to the gym. Like that was a great form of self-care for your health. So I think that that's the first thing I want to say. Whatever you're doing to take care of yourself, like really celebrate that, because that's a big thing.
I think that's a really, really, really important point to emphasize, because far too many times, and I talk about energy because I'm always about energy in medicine, right? Far too many times we would do something great, like go to the gym or, you know, go for a walk or something else. And then we may have, you know, maybe have a bag of, you know, crisps or some chocolate or some, you know, cake or something thereafter. And you're like, oh, what's the point of me going to the gym? I just had a cake anyway and I destroyed it. And I think because when we do, you know, when we have those moments when we give into whatever urges, and sometimes just a matter of habit, because you're so used to having a cup of tea, then you have the cup or a cup of coffee. With your cup of coffee, you'll have a biscuit or some other something else. And I know I go into the habit of cup of tea, a bit of a biscuit, and that's an English thing to do, and it's so easy to fall into. The only thing is to not bring biscuits at home. But when we criticize ourselves, when we judge ourselves, when we get angry with ourselves, we actually negate the good thing that we've done, and we're into low energy. And then guess what? We're going to attract more of this low energy, more of this low vibration, and therefore we can't, you know, we can't do anything, right?
Yeah, and the energy also with like you consuming that food, it's like, you know, I eat chocolate all the time. I love chocolate. I think chocolate is such a gift, you know, to be alive and human and to be able to experience it. But the energy in which I'm consuming it and my mindset it plays a big role in my digestion. If I have this energy of like, oh, I really want a piece of chocolate, it sounds great, that pleases me, and I have it, it's a lot better than I went to the gym today and now I had chocolate. It's totally ruined. Like, why did I have this? I'm such a failure. Like, I'm never going to reach my goal. It's like, that is not the energy of great health, right? Like,
no, of course not. No. So I think that's a very, very important point. So that's the first one. So make sure, appreciate and celebrate everything that you do for your health. And I think you need to start somewhere. I think even if it means like taking a 10-minute walk during a lunch hour, or actually making sure that you do have some sort of walk during the lunch hour, even if it's slow-paced walking and so forth. As long as you're doing something, it's starting the process. And if you try to do an hour's walk and you haven't done walking for the longest time, that's going to be too much for your physical body, and you're not going to want to do it the next day. So do things, start small. That would be my point, right?
Yeah, I like that. And I want to talk about that. I want this to really be about simplifying and to really paint this picture of, you know, before this summer when I had this illness that came, I was one who was like, more is better. I had my routine. I had been doing my routine, and then something happened and my routine no longer worked. I had this routine of going to a yoga class. I couldn't go to a yoga class because I couldn't bend forward, right? And maybe you're not there, but maybe you can't, you know, go for an hour run because you have kids and you have a job, right? And so really, like, if we're thinking about this in terms of improving your business, right, and making you sharp and happy, anything that you can fit in, anytime you're moving your body, it shifts the energy. You're going to feel better by moving your body. And so I want to talk about simplifying, and I think sharing my routine, and it could be a morning routine that might work for you. It might be an evening routine, or it might be a lunch break routine. But I really shifted. I used to have a long morning routine, and I simplified it, because what happened was I had this mindset, which I think is really common, of, oh, I can't do that. I can't go to that hour yoga class. I'm just not going to do anything. I'm going to get on my phone in the morning. I'm going to work on some business. And what I noticed is I was kind of depressed, if I'm being honest. I felt like, what's the point of life? Like, what's the point of business? Like, I just noticed this negative mindset that I didn't want to be in. And so something is better than nothing. And so I transformed my routine, and I started with an affirmation. Today's going to be a great day. You might think it's cheesy, but it helped me. First thing in the morning, today's going to be a great day. That's the first thing I did. Then 10 breaths, breathing into my body. Breath is so important. Breath is so powerful. I think that as entrepreneurs, we can spend a lot of time in our head and not in our bodies, right? Our bodies, that is where a lot of our insight comes from. And so just doing 10 breaths, get everything moving and flowing. That improves your digestion too. So I did that. Then I did movement. Movement was simple. I would do pelvic tilts. Mobility is really important for us entrepreneurs who just sit at a computer. It's not good for our hips to just be sitting all day, right? Even standing. It's not good to be standing all day. It's not good to be in one position for a long amount of time. We got to switch it up. So I started doing little mobility things, doing like some pelvic tilts, some bird dogs. You guys can look these up. They do not take long. And then outside, a walk, just a 10-minute walk around my neighborhood, 10-minute walk, doing that. And then meditation. And that literally can take anywhere from like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. So powerful. I feel so good. Simple things that you can do.
I think, yeah, there's so many things in there. Let's unpack a little bit. So I think I think having some kind of movement for your body, it's really, really important. I mentioned walking because one, it's free. You don't have to go and join a member of any gym and so forth. You can do some stretches and some workout, and there's so many of those. I mean, we can even go on Instagram, and there's so many things come out. Do this at home, and with the leg press and whatever else. And especially if you have knee joints or if you have any kind of health issue, you can find an exercise which we can work around that health issue. Most people have either back or knee issues, and there are plenty of exercises to do from home, just to stretch your body. And then have some kind of movement within indoors. And then it doesn't matter the weather. I mean, the only time I wouldn't go out is when it's raining or stormy, because I can't be doing that. But it doesn't matter how cold or how hot it is, then you should get yourself out of the house for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you can spare. And even if you think 10 minutes isn't going to do anything, start somewhere. I keep saying this again. You have to start somewhere. And I remember the first time I went for a walk, I just thought, I'm going to wrap myself up warm recently. And I haven't been for a walk for a long time. It's cold, but let me not hold that back. I put my hat on, I put my scarf on, and I look like a right old penguin. But it didn't matter. I went for a walk, and it was supposed to be a 10-minute walk, but I enjoyed it so much. I just carried on. And it ended up being about 45-minute walk. And of course I was feeling a bit tired afterwards, but it wasn't stressful. It wasn't pressure that I had to do it. It was just because I felt like doing it. I enjoy the outdoors so much that I carried on. So you never know, if you just get yourself out through the door, that might be the only initiative you need to take. And then I think, so that's step one, start stretch something in the morning, then do to get some exercise, get some fresh air in your lungs. I think that's very important, especially people who work from home. I think this is so important. Get out, get in the outdoors. And thirdly, you mentioned something which I thought was wonderful, which is breath work. We don't actually focus on breath. And I know that when I do my energy work, I focus on breath quite a lot initially, because that's where we put them into state. And throughout the day, I know that if I'm feeling stressful, whatever, I'll pause and I'll just breathe in and really breathe into my lungs. And I've done that naturally without even thinking about it. But now when you mentioned it, I thought, that's what you do naturally. When you feel really stressed, you start breathing very shallow. So you just take a pause, stop, and breathe breathe deeply. So if you do that first in the morning, that's great. You've got your breath in. And then the final thing which I thought, which is one of my favorites, is meditate. Is to quieten the mind and actually go within, stop looking at without, and go within, and really allow yourself to connect to universal energy, source energy, whatever you want to say it. Have a spiritual experience, a religious experience, who cares? I mean, I do this. So everything you just mentioned, I do it, but I do it for religious persons. I pray because wake in the morning and Fajr, and I pray. And that has obviously because of the movement, it has the yoga movements in it. It has the postures are very yoga based actually, and not that we knew about it, we did it for religious purposes. But now when you do research, it's got a lot of yoga benefits, so especially lower back. But I do that. But the act of praying, it's so spiritual that I don't have to meditate. I'm already in that energy, in that space. So first thing in the morning, when you're in that zone, when you're connected to device's energy, whatever you can call it, God, you can call it universe and energy, whatever, I find that so surreal, Sarah. It just starts my day so beautifully when I think, you know what, nothing can go wrong for me. Everything's working, everything's amazing. I can conquer the world. You get into that mindset, I can do this. And then, you know, you can go for a walk or whatever else afterwards. But getting that into that energy first thing in the morning, how, when you're in such a positive mindset, how can that not impact your business in a highly, highly positive way? I can't imagine. So this is why I think you're absolutely right. This, you know, very simplified morning routine would have such a drastic impact on your business, because it's all about being positive, isn't it? I mean, you know, if you start with the mindset like nothing's gonna work, this is shit, this is rubbish, I've got that client and that email to respond to, compared to someone like, okay, everything's gonna work out. It doesn't matter how things looked last night, they're gonna be amazing today. They're two different mindsets, two different outcomes. No?
Yeah, exactly. And like every moment is an opportunity to start over and refresh. And I personally find that the morning is a great time to do that. But I know like some people, the mornings are kind of crazy. So just fit it in where you can get it in. Honestly, it's going to have a big impact.
I think that is something else as well. I think we listen to all these amazing entrepreneurs and they have these amazing morning routines. And again, you have to do what you can do. If you're a parent and you've got kids running around and you're trying to put them to, you know, unless you're waking up 4:30 in the morning, which sometimes is not possible either, because you've got kids and you have to deal with them till it's about 10 o'clock in the night. So it's sometimes not feasible for you to do the 4:30 or 5 o'clock morning starts, because you do have the school run to deal with. And so, you know, if you are doing all of that, you know, it's probably not possible for you to have the routine we just mentioned. So then get it in when you can, at lunchtimes or in the evening. But I think this is so important. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the secret is not the routine, right? There's so many posts and podcasts and books, and it's like, this is the secret to success. This is the successful morning routine. This is the way you have to do it. And the secret is doing it in a way that works for you, creating healthy habits that support you, taking care of yourself in whatever way you can manage. That is the secret. It's not getting up at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. is not going to work for somebody who's up all night. You know, you're up all night with your kids are up at 4 a.m. You got to take care of them. Like, that long routine, it's not going to work for you. And that's okay. You can still be successful with your health, with your business, doing it in a way that works for you.
Exactly. I think there's something else that I've read so many times, the $1 million money, morning routine, and, this, do this, and, and
for that person, right? Yeah. It's for that person.
Well, they made a book out of it, so that okay. So it works for them, and everything. Sell 1 million copies of the books and so forth. I'm not having a dig at anybody. I think these morning routines are great, and they're great to get inspiration from, but we shouldn't get bogged down with it. And I think there's something else. And we haven't addressed this point. I think it's a lot easier for men to look after themselves and give themselves that space and time and self-care compared to women. I think women, especially when they become wives and mothers, they tend to put themselves and their needs last, below everybody else's. So I think they are the ones who struggle the most in terms of looking after themselves and taking care of themselves, and their health deteriorates the most. And this is the sad fact. So what would you say to that? You have you've got your partner and you've got your children, and you feel obligated to do things for them, and whatever have for them, and you sacrifice your needs and your your requirements.
Yeah, that's such a great question. So I don't have children. I want to be very clear about that. I do not have kids. I do have a team who we have 2 moms who are on our team, and they are, married, they have kids, multiple kids, they're running a business, they're doing all the things. And so I see them take care of themselves. And, one of our coaches at the Coach and Grow Co, she always says that she is setting an example for her kids. She wants her daughter to take care of herself and to put her health and her wellness first, and so I think that, as a mom, like, your kids are always watching, and hopefully you're in a partnership. I know my partnership, my husband, Peter, like, he wants me to be the best version of myself. He is supporting me and my goals and my health. And as long as I communicate to him what I need, and sometimes that's hard to do if we didn't see that modeled growing up, like a healthy partnership where both people support each other. Like, as long as I tell him like, hey, I'm feeling kind of stressed, like working on my business and making lunch, and like, I just need, some downtime. Can you make lunch? Or last night he made dinner because I was working late. Like, as long as I have that conversation, he knows that we're a team and he wants our team to be successful. And so if I'm struggling with my health, like, it's bringing the team down. And so he wants my health to improve so we can be working together again. So I think having those conversations is really important, and asking for the support that you need. And knowing like, it's like, I think of family as a unit. We're a unit, and we all want the same things. We want everybody to be the best versions of themselves, and we want everybody to be thriving. And so we need all the members of the team to be supported, and just having that conversation and coming from that place of, when one person wins, we all win.
Yeah, I think that's very important. So if we summarize today's episode, it's literally take the first step in the direction of self-care, whatever that is for you, and make it a priority, and ask for support from those around you. If you are, and I have to say this, if you're fortunate to have a partner, because a lot of females and men too, by the way, they have a single parent, men who are single parents as well. If you're fortunate to have a partner, then ask for support. If you're not, then it's even more imperative that you make your self-care a priority, and look after yourself, and make sure that you get enough sleep, enough rest, and especially some element of exercise and some, breathing technique during the day, so that you are at optimal health. Because without it, your relationships will suffer, your business will suffer, and ultimately you will suffer.
Yeah. And just know that what you do is enough. Trust that it's enough. Like, on some days it's not going to be as much as you want, but give yourself some grace, because that, like we were talking about, that energy and that mindset is really important too. And so let what you do, let that be enough.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap this up. Sarah, where can we find you? Where can we connect with you on the internet?
Yeah, of course. You can come over to my website, thecoachandgrow.co, and connect with me there, or you can check me out on Instagram. My handle is just my name, Sarah_Hagstrom.
Wonderful. So if you're listening to us on the podcast, remember the links that Sarah just mentioned will be in the show notes. And if you're watching us on YouTube, then down below in the description section, we'll have the links to her website as well. Do check her out. She's amazing. And let's see how she can help you to improve your health so you can improve your business. Thank you so much, Sarah, for being a guest today. It's been a fabulous conversation.
Thank you, Gull. It's nice to be here.
And thank you for listening to me and Sarah today. I will be back on another Wednesday Money Talkies, finding out how you and I can build a better business. Until the next time we meet, this is Gull signing off. Take care and bye for now.